Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layouts over here on the Crafty Maven Getaway. Today I have a multi-photo love using this sketch from Scrapbook Generation. This is this month's inspiration, and I really thought of fall when I saw this. So I pulled out the Story of Fall by Echo Park, and I will link it below if I can still find it. It is an older collection. And what I decided to do was on the right side of the layout, actually both layouts, they have this banner that goes across the top. And I really wanted to mimic that without necessarily having to put in the banner itself. So I saw this paper, the brown wood grain paper, and I really liked that. And I only had one sheet of it, so I just used a cream color on the other side. Now this sketch does call for 7 photos, but I'm actually going to be able to get 10 photos on my layout. The left-hand side of the layout calls for 3 4x4 photos, but I went ahead and cut my photos down to 3x3, so then I was able to get 4 of them on the left side of the layout. I was also able to get 2 3x4 photos. Now I did print all of my photos in 3x4 simply because these photos were not the best quality. They were taken with my phone. The boys were jumping on this like bouncy house thing. And so it was a lot of movement, and I thought it would be better if I was able to get more photos that were smaller. So I did use the Rusted Hinge Distress ink from Tim Holtz to distress all of the edges. And if you are laying a bunch of photos down, I have recently found this tip from another scrapbooker on YouTube that if you put the adhesive down on the paper, it does make it go a little bit quicker, because then you're just laying the photos down and you're not having to put adhesive on each one of the photos. So I went ahead and added a block of the brown paper. It kind of similarly matches the wood grain, but it is different. It is a different color brown, but it flows really well with the layout. Then I added the 2 strips of polka dotted strip as well as a light blue strip to break up that brown paper with my photos. That blue strip does have a tone-on-tone diagonal stripe, but you probably can't see that in the video. Now, normally I have no problem cutting my layout down a little bit, but the difference between this was probably almost 1/4 of an inch. So I decided to go ahead and cut a piece of paper 1/4 of an inch and put it all the way across the top there. So I pull up the blue, which I probably could have left that down because I do end up laying it on top of the blue. So once I add my adhesive down, I'm going to add this wood grain piece and then add the blue piece on top of it, and then pull it up and underneath it. So now I have the base of my layout completed with the 4 photos going down the edge, and then the photos on the right hand side. Now, because these photos are very dark and the background paper is very dark, I went ahead and decided to mount all of them on a white cardstock and then ink the edges. So this is where I'm going to get to add a few more photos. I decide to add the 2 there at the top and the 2 at the bottom. Now the 2 in the sketch, you will notice that at the top it calls for a 6x4 photo, but I went ahead and just used 3x4 photos there. And I'm struggling with the placement because it does call for a 6x4. And so what I decided to do was go ahead and remove the white background from 2 of the pictures, and I'm going to mount them back on white cardstock, but mounting them together as if they were one photo. So the center edges are butting up against each other, and then they'll have a white border around it. So it does call for that 6x4, and I think that the layout looks better with a 6x4 photo there, even though it is 2 photos. So I'm also trying to maneuver the photos around a little bit from the banner that's in that paper. So I do move that top photo over and to the right a little bit so that it fits perfectly underneath that banner and kind of tucks into that banner. On the left-hand side, I went ahead and put the photo on the left flat down, and then the photo on the right is up on fun foam. And then the same for the right-hand side. All of the photos are straight down that 6x4, as well as the one photo that's on the left, and then the one photo that's on the right, overlapping it, is up on fun foam. I want to encourage you guys, if you take a look at a sketch and you like the sketch, like I did in this one, but I had more photos for it, every time that there is a place for a 6x4, you can cut those down to be 2 3x4s. Or if it calls for the 4x4, like it did in this layout, I went ahead and cut those down to 3x3 and was able to get an additional photo in that strip as well. So looking at a sketch, see what works for your photos and make it work for you, because that's really what's the great thing about sketches, is that you can make them whatever you want them to be. And I've used sketches over and over again, the same sketch, and my layouts turn out completely different. I'm using different paper, I'm doing a different occasion, and sometimes I change it up like I did with this one here. So once I get everything down, I went ahead and added a sticker banner to kind of mimic the banner on the right hand side of the layout. And then these boots really have nothing to do with the layout except for the fact that they're just stinking cute and I wanted to use them. So I did go ahead and add those up on fun foam and put them right next to one of the photos. A lot of times what I'll use sketches for is, once I get the base down, I don't necessarily follow the sketch clusters themselves very closely, just where they go. I struggle a lot with clusters and embellishments and understanding, I know the rule of thirds and things like that, and I'm sure you guys have heard about that before, but sometimes it's just easier to follow the sketch in regards to, okay, they've got their layout or their title in this section, the clusters in this section, and start building upon it there. So it kind of helps guide you along the way. So my title is going to be a whole lot of jumpin'. And so I use these white fun foam or white foamy stickers to spell the word jumpin'. And then these little tiny teal stickers I'm going to use for the word of, as well as the word a at the beginning of my title. And then these red stickers here, they are very old basic gray stickers. They also have a wood grain to them as well, so I thought that they would work perfect with this layout for the word whole and lot. I also want to give you guys a tip. I tend to just Google titles. For this one here, I Googled bouncy house title, and that's where I found a whole lot of jumping. So if you're ever struggling with a title, just Google what your pictures are about and go ahead and use one of those titles. There's no reason to kind of reinvent the wheel. So I did use my orange fireworks splatter to add some splatters to this layout, and that is it for me. I want to encourage you guys to come back every day. The Crafty Maven Getaway has a new video every day. There's lots of design team members, so you can get lots of inspiration. If you would like to see more double page layouts, because that's all that I do on my channel, check out my link below, and I would love for you to follow me over there as well. Here is my final layout along with some close-ups. I hope that everyone is having a scrappy day, and thanks for watching.